Hello and welcome to another special episode of the Father and Son Pastime podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin. How are you?
That's my dad. Dad, it's trade deadline season.
It's exciting.
It's probably one of our more in-depth podcasts that we typically do, but for our loyal subscribers, we're changing what we do this year. I think we actually did more research in this new format we're about to tell you about than in past years. In past years, I feel like we've done like 6 of these now, give or take. I know we didn't do one for the COVID year. But we used to look at just like the sellers and say, hey, these 10 teams are going to get rid of these people. And then we would argue about who they're going to. And probably neither one of us got anything right. Maybe that was really fun for you. But my dad and I play a lot of games. We're very kind of silly with each other. We invent dumb games.
You're the king.
Thank you, Dad. So we're calling this the Deadline Deal episode. And just like Let's Make a Deal, it would be like a sort of game/game show. Instead of just wildly saying, Eugenio Suarez is going to the Houston Astros.
It's Eugenio.
I think it's Eugenio.
No, I found out yesterday it's Eugenio.
I've heard it pronounced different ways.
Yeah.
We already are disagreeing, guys. A minute 12 into the podcast. If you know, or if your name's Eugenio or Eugenio, please sound off in the comments.
There was a big discussion yesterday.
But anyways, if that's just going to stop us from just kind of saying that. There's going to be points attached where the winner right now is not going to win cash like we normally do on the show, just kind of bragging rights that they know the trade deadline better. For those at home, neither of us know that better, but maybe if ESPN or MLB is watching, maybe we do really well and we get called an analyst in the future. Anyways, let's get into it, Dad.
We both have agents.
Yes. Feel free to follow us as contact our agents in all the comments below. We're going to get points for calling certain things. And obviously, the harder it is to call something, more points it's going to be worth. So, just 1 point if that player gets traded. Probably going to get a lot of points in that regard. 2, and an extra 2 points, so now that would be a 3-pointer, if that player was an all-star just this year. So, again, the example that I used with my dad was Ryan O'Hearn. He got traded, and he was an all-star. It's 3 points automatically. Another category is if they're in the home run derby. At any point, any past home run derby, we like to see big names. We want to talk about the bigger names. We don't want to talk about, bullpen people for the entire hour or so of this podcast. So 3 points if they've been in the home run derby. Like I said, we want to talk about big names. We want that attraction. 5 points if they've ever been an MVP of the regular season, of an all-star game, of a league championship series, or a World Series. So there's a lot of options there, actually. And then the mega points are 10 points if you call the correct team. We think that's really challenging. So hopefully a couple of those are really fun. And that's actually the pride. Because if you just call someone that was like, well, he was in a home run derby and he got traded, 4 points for me. Sure, you could accumulate points that way, but I think actually saying who this player is going to, that's really the pride of this game show, if you will.
That's right. We want Jeopardy and 100-point totals down there, and double Jeopardy is even better. So You want the points.
Yes, you want to go for the big points.
That's right.
Hopefully we get some right. Hopefully it's entertaining for you all. And I'm sure we'll get plenty wrong, and you guys will let us know. But we are recording this on July 27th in the morning. As of now, no trades have happened today. There have been some trades last night. There's been obviously the Josh Naylor move. So we're not going to talk about anything that has happened. We're only going to talk about predictions, and then maybe in a week's so time, depending on our schedules, we might do a little recap episode of who did this, who did well, who was a winner, who was a loser. We'll see if we get into that, and obviously we'll see how well this sort of game goes, Dad.
The last trade was Ahmed Rosario to the Yankees.
Yes.
Was the last one, so people who are following at home know what the last one was. So we're all legit.
We're going to go 12 rounds. So 24 players will be talked about. We can't pick the same player. So again, I'll use the Ryan O'Hearn example. If I say he goes to the Texas Rangers, my dad says the Houston Astros, that's just going to be 3 points for both of us because he's going to go to the Toronto Blue Jays or something. So once a player gets mentioned, they're off the list entirely. So 24 unique names will get talked about. We're going to go this in sort of our draft way. These are our lovely cards. And the higher card gets to choose if they draft or pick first, Dad, or have the wraparound of the 2 and the 3. I will defer, and my dad typically has won this. I think I've won twice in the 6 years of our podcast.
A 10.
I'm just going to choose the top card. It's a 10. We've never had a tie before.
Oh.
Dad, redraw. Pick a new card. Now you know it's really live, people, because otherwise we would...
A 7.
A 7. I'm going top card again. A queen. And
You
for
got it.
also the first time in our podcast history.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm going to defer. I'm going to take the 2-3 wraparound picks and kind of play defense through this podcast. And yeah, so I'm going to let my dad go first. He's going to say a name, a team that he thinks that person's going to go to. We're going to try to say, like, oh, that could be a possible 14-pointer, sometime like that, to help you guys keep track of points at home. But yeah, I'll be crossing out names, Dad, as you go. We did a lot of research. Let's see how smart our predictions are. Dad, you're up first.
I'm going to do a little preamble.
Of course.
One of the things I looked into, and I did a lot of reading last couple days, there's teams out there with really strong minor league systems that are also in contention for the playoffs. There's teams that I think are really going to control the narrative in the trade deadline. 4 teams have unbelievable trading capital, as they say in the trades. The Red Sox, Seattle, Cubs, and Detroit have unbelievable amount of very valuable minor leaguers to trade. Those teams, I think, will be exceedingly busy during the next few days. But as you go through, you'll see kind of like how I shifted things to make sure that those teams that I think are going to be active, that have, the capital to trade, are going to be, some of them might make 4 deals in the next week. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going right for a previous mention, Ryan O'Hearn. He goes to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Take a little line off there. I'm really glad my dad picked Ryan O'Hearn because who I was having him go to was the Tampa Bay Rays, and they're kind of a bubble team, and the Brewers obviously are not. Dad, why the Brewers specifically?
Outstanding pitching for the Brewers.
Yeah.
Outstanding pitching. Bringing up, they do really well drafting and developing pitching. What they're weak in right now is scoring runs.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, in the last few games, they've been shut out 1-0. Then this was against the Marlins, and then I think last night they only scored 1 run. The need right now for them is to have more of a potent offense because the Cubs' strength is offense, their weakness is pitching. So I think those things are going to offset. Those two are going to battle it to the end, in my opinion, for the title. O'Hearn, a lefty, goes to first base or DH, I think will add a huge plus to the Brewers team. And I just think that he's a good clubhouse guy, and I think he'll look great in a Brewers uniform.
My dad calls that perfectly. It's 13 points for him. Again, 10 for calling it right, 1 for him being traded, and 2 points because O'Hearn was an all-star this year. Dad, great pick, and my strategy, I think, is going well already. I get 2 picks in a row here, guys. I'm going to go back-to-back, I think, New York picks.
Oh, good.
But I'm going to go Mets-Yankees. To me, one of the clearest picks in this deadline, I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen, is Zach Gallen to the New York Mets. It's only 11 points, so I'm really feeling... Did you have that too?
I have him to the Yankees.
Oh, that's so funny. The reason I think so is Zach Gallen's not having a great year. The Mets, there's like a few teams that like fix pitchers really well, and the Mets are one of them. He's healthy. Like I think the Mets will be able to fix him for 2 months and hopefully have a nice postseason run. I think he can be that dominant pitcher he was about 2 years ago, like a Cy Young like finalist. So yeah, I'm no other like sexy points there. I'm just going Zach Gallen to the Mets because I believe it. And the other New York pick is last night we also got some news that Aaron Judge may be out for a foreseeable amount of time. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's a short amount of time for just baseball. It's better. Baseball's better when Judge is playing. But I have a reunion of Harrison Bader to the New York Yankees. Do you have that as well?
I have him to Phillies, but that's good thinking.
I will see. I'm going to tease. Well, actually, I'm not going to tease anything. People, if it comes out, I'll tell you more. Bader's having a great year. He's obviously a defensive gem, former Gold Glover. I think the Yankees got a little hurt that the Dodgers called them so poor defensively last year. Getting Ryan McMahon, a third base Gold Glover, to be there for years. Bader's just a rental for 2 months, but they could use them. I don't think they're Spencer Jones or the Martian, Jason Dominguez, is good defensively. So I think this will really help an outfield that's going to be slightly crippled for a couple weeks at least, and they are only 1 game up on the Red Sox for a wild card spot. This is like a hemorrhaging team, and I hope for baseball, and I'm sure for your Yankee fan listeners, that the more we say the Yankees, the more they'll go, yes, I agree. But I don't see the Yankees just getting Ahmed Rosario and Ryan McMahon. Dad, you're up now for 2 points picks in a row.
Well done as usual. I'm going with some headliners. I'm going with some shock value. I'm getting these 2 guys that I think people are going, whoa. Eugenio Suarez to the Seattle Mariners. Seattle, again, going back to my original thought, has a great deal of pitching stockpile in their minor leagues. Right now, Arizona needs pitching, especially young pitching, because they're going to trade, probably Merrill, Kelly, and Gallen. So if that's the truth, they're looking for young pitching. That's what Seattle has. This guy will be the number 1 player that's being sought after right now. And I think right now, Seattle, just by the, kind of what we saw last week, they're going all in. So I think Eugenio will go to Seattle. And then the next pick is going to be something that really helps the Boston Red Sox. Dylan Cease to the Red Sox. He's going to be the number one or 2 pitcher in Boston. The GM of Boston used to be the assistant GM of the Cubs. Had some working with Dylan. They know each other. There's a familiarity with that. So Dylan to the Red Sox to really bolster that rotation to push him in the wild card.
Plenty of thoughts already, Dad. Red Sox have already turned down a trade for Cease involving Duran. He would be an 11-pointer, not an all-star ever, actually, which I didn't know about Dylan Cease, but not an all-star this year. The point grab for Suarez would be a 13-pointer, if my dad's actually able to call that right. I had the Cubs. I just think, and again, there's no truth to this. We've seen multiple players get traded in separate little transaction rather than one like a blockbuster. But I just feel that if they already went after Naylor, why couldn't they talk Suarez and other stuff too? But you'll get at least 3 points because he's going to be traded and he's an all-star. It's just a matter of what team. Hopefully you get him to good old Seattle, Dad. The West would definitely get better having the corners of Arizona moving up to the Pacific Northwest. Suarez, that was probably going to be my next pick. I didn't even have Cease on the board, at all. If they trade him, they trade him, but then that means the Padres will be sellers, and I have the Padres being buyers. So a very interesting bubble team watch there. Dad, I think it's time that I grab some points too. I've just been doing some 11-pointers. I think I'm going to grab the biggest point grab yet in some former home run derby contestants. I'm going to take Marcell Ozuna.
Oh, you're not going to take him.
To the Texas Rangers.
Interesting.
Rangers, I think, are buyers. Rangers surprisingly need offense. Jock Peterson has been miserable this year, just absolutely cuttable. Not even a replaceable level talent, like a true cut it and run. I don't think Marcel's going to play a lot of outfield, but I just think that he'll bop around. I know he doesn't have the same amount of homers he once did, but that Texas lineup needs offense. It's weird that their pitching staff is their strength this year. It's very opposite of how most people predicted them. And I'm going to take something that's long been talked about. He's having a down year, but God almighty, will he be an upgrade to that outfield? Luis Robert to the Phillies.
Yeah, that would be.
Both would be 14-point possibilities. I think, obviously, Ozuna is 100% locked to get traded. Braves and the Orioles have had just 2 shockingly disappointing years. White Sox could keep Robert. Maybe he has better trade value next year. He's still under control. We'll see. But they need pitching, and they always will need pitching. And either Mick Abel or someone like that will go to Chicago in the deal. Didn't really look at the Rangers part. For Ozuna, I think the Braves will just be happy for someone to take his salary. Did you have those players going yet?
I didn't even have Lewis Roberts in my...
You're Dylan Cease.
Correct. And I had Ozuna going to Boston.
I don't think we need another DH. Well, there's too many DHs.
Well, I just think that they could make room for a slugging...
He's not having a great year.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, he's only had 12 home runs.
I'm just saying Boston's going to put their chips in, too.
What's so funny, and I'm not trying to give away things, I don't know if I'll even take a Red Sox in this draft. I think they will trade. I just think they'll hit around the periphery and AK not a lot of points.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be a big splasher.
Okay. All right,
I hope they are, but my board doesn't have that.
I'm going to have some fun now.
Okay, I'm surprised you're not having fun yet.
I have probably one of the main pitching targets out there going to a surprisingly first-place team to really help their rotation, Mitch Keller to the Blue Jays.
Another name I didn't have.
He is probably up there in the top 3.
I saw MLB trade rumors. Our friends at MLB trade rumors. It's just those pitchers with control. I'm funny as I'm going to talk about a couple of them, but Cease and Keller. Well, I know Cease isn't even in control, but Keller, I was just like, I think they should keep him and try to be a building franchise. But whatever. What do I know about the Pirates?
Yeah, I think they're going to go again. They're going to try to build their system for the upteenth time. And then I have the strong team from the Windy City getting Edward Cabrera from Miami. He is controllable. Apparently the match is great because they want Cassie from the Cubs. So Cabrera has 3 more years controllability. So I think that'd be the fit.
Is he an outfielder?
He's
Cassie
a pitcher.
Guy?
Oh yeah.
Owen Cassie. I know whoever Cabrera is. I didn't know who
Owen Cassie's an outfielder.
Yeah.
Probably the number 1 trade chip on the market right now.
And with sometimes what you do with Tucker, but in theory there's no space for him.
Correct. And he's having a phenomenal year. He was part of the Yu Darvish trade years ago.
Great.
Yeah, Canadian guy. So anyway,
okay.
I got that was happening right now. So yeah.
Dad, 3 out of 5 of your picks have not even been on my board. And I'm glad you took O'Hearn and kind of glad you took Suarez too. But good for you. I'm gonna wow. Let's look at some pitchers. I think. I really like that one too. God, I'm kind of at a tear because I don't know which way to go. But there was one trade that I thought really made sense between 2 NL Central teams. I'm going to go with that because it's more of I believe in it than I going to get a lot of points. But Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, or IKF out of Pittsburgh, is having a good year this year. He's pretty versatile. He can play short. He can play second, even third base. He has a Gold Glove at third base. And surprisingly, Milwaukee's shortstop position is just awful. Joey Ortiz did not move over to shortstop well loose offensively. I think IKF goes there, gives him more solid defense. Maybe if Durbin needs a day off at third, Turang needs a day off at second, it allows them versatility. It's not going to cost them a whole lot, and I think it'll be a sneaky, really good move for the Brewers.
That's a very good thought.
Did you have IKF getting traded?
I didn't have him on board.
I'm glad we're doing this because we have 2 very different approaches.
Yeah.
All right, I got to take a pitcher. I think this should have been done last offseason, even with the addition of Devin Williams, but Ryan Helsley to the Yankees.
You son of a gun, I got the same thing.
There we go. I'm glad. There we go. It's only an 11-pointer. I really think the Yankees are going to be this uber-aggressive team with losing out of first place, possibly losing Judge, the Red Sox right on their tail. Can you imagine the possibility of the Yankees not making the playoffs?
No.
After being a World Series team and how embarrassing that would be? They don't like to be embarrassed.
Correct.
They'll trade whatever.
And I think the GM is under the gun. And they're saying fix these because they didn't have the greatest offseason. And, along the way, they've had just phenomenal amount of injuries. So they're trying to combat those too. But their lineup hasn't produced.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very, very good pick, by the way. That was one of my main picks.
Well, thank you. I feel so much better about it now. Dad, 2 picks are yours.
That's called sarcasm for you at home.
2 picks are yours.
I'm going to go big headliner again.
I'm always worried about your big headliners.
Sandy Alcantara to San Francisco. I think that's a really good trade for both parties. Apparently, he's been rumored to go into many teams. Not having a great year, but San Francisco needs pitching desperately. They have a little bit of trade capital, but I think they'll work out something. San Fran needs pitching desperately. He goes to San Francisco.
On my board, I had him going to the Blue Jays because of the control aspect of it. And there is some history between the Marlins and Toronto in the past. If you remember some of those big blockbusters about 13 years ago with Jose Reyes and Josh Johnson. But yeah. Then who's your other pick?
I am going crazy. Go nuts.
Apparently that's your theme today.
Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, no.
To the Detroit Tigers. To
No way.
be the number 2 guy up there in Detroit. Detroit has a lot of capital, and the Nationals need to start from scratch with a new GM and a new manager. I think Mackenzie Gore goes for a package of probably 4 players from the Detroit Tigers.
He has 3 more years of service time.
Yep.
He was an all-star this year. That'll be a 13-pointer for you. I just don't see it. I think he's finally found himself as the maybe ace of the Nats staff. Josiah Gray will be back next year from Tommy John. I think that this offseason will be very big to push for the Nats. I don't see them giving up any controllable piece, especially with that offense, that outfield. I would be shocked. I think that could be a 0-pointer for you. But if it goes well, you get a lot of points.
But it's good for a podcast.
I don't think so. But you let us know if you think that you came here for the Mackenzie Gore conversation. Okay, I'm going to go for some points.
Are we at number 7 or 8 on our board, right?
We are, let's see how many total people we've talked. Well, let me do my rounds.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, this would be my 7th and 8th pick.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just probably did your 7th.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is my 7th pick. Dad, I'm similar thoughts to you about Ryan O'Hearn to Milwaukee, but I am having a little older player come there, a little former home run derby contestant, Carlos Santana to the Brewers.
You know what? That's a really good thought. I think they're going to get one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and again, like I mentioned before, the American League Central is kind of holding up a lot of trades between Minnesota, Cleveland. They're holding back a little bit. Kansas City as well. They're holding back a little bit, see what they're going to do, because right now that's kind of slowing down. Once they decide which way they're going to go, I think the trade deadline will explode with trades.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun. So that's good. That's a good thought.
For a little bit more on that, I think Rhys Hoskins has just been injured a lot this year, so Santana could play first base. I think he's better defensively, even at 39, than Hoskins is. One of them could DH and put Yelich back into the outfield. So I think there's some flexibility there. Same conversation I had about IKF. I know 2 names are going to Milwaukee, a team that doesn't trade that much, so I'm setting myself up for some failure there. But we'll see. My other pick is one of my few... No, it's not I was going to say few controllable. Luis Roberts controllable. This is my other controllable guy. The Astros, Dad, did get one of my favorite players, Brendan Rodgers, but he hasn't been doing that well. So they're going to try a different Brendan. Brendan Donovan from the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's a good player.
He can play second or left field, just like Jose Altuve, apparently. I think they bring Altuve back into the infield and put Donovan out and left. With the control, that outfield gets much better. Jordan can kind of ease back in as a DH. Doesn't have to play left field, hopefully, ever again. But Brendan Donovan to the Astros for a possible 13 points, and Santana was 14 because he went to the Home Run Derby years ago.
Very good.
Those are my picks, Dad.
Very, very good. I'm going to start going to the relief market for my next 2 picks. I think you're going to like this one pick very much.
Okay.
Danny Colomé to the Red Sox.
Oh, I would love that, but I don't see that happening.
I think it's going to happen quicker than you think.
He's one of the best relievers available.
I agree. And the Red Sox have the capital.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other one's Sir Anthony Dominguez to the Cubs. So apparently that's the hot rumor out there. He would help the Cubs, in the 6th, 7th inning. Throws hard. He can also close. So I think that's a great fit for the Cubs. So I think those two looking real good for this week to happen. But Danny Colomb to the Red Sox would help them tremendously with a really steady left-handed reliever.
Well, way to go for relievers. It's always risky taking relievers versus, the easier need of, I need a catcher. Because who doesn't need a bullpen as they try for a playoff push?
Yeah.
Dad, I have, interestingly, I have Colomb going to another AL East team, and I have Sir Anthony Dominguez going to a different NL Central team.
Interesting.
So I have the same divisions. I had Dominguez going to the Reds. They don't have the greatest bullpen this year. And I had Colomb going, unfortunately, to the Yankees. So again, Yankees are on my list a lot, and I think it's kind of like if we're betting, it's kind of a safe pick.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, who I thought, because I just said Danny Colomb to the Yankees, I said earlier Harrison Bader to the Yankees. I think the one big package deal we see this year is Bader, Colomb, and Chris Paddock. Chris Paddock to the Yankees is my pick there. Not a high-end kind of pick, only a possible 11-pointer. I think he'll go, and it's really just to see if I'm right in that fun little package. I think the Yankees and Twins line up so well in many ways that 2 or 3 of those people could easily get packaged together. If the Red Sox strike first for Colomb, that's Bader and Paddock can still go to the Yankees. So I'm going to get something there with the good old Yankees. A lot of thoughts. I have one position player left that I really like, and I have 3 picks left. I like Phil Maton to the Mets.
You son of a gun.
I think he's another great reliever available. He's a righty. The Mets have already shored up their bullpen with Gregory Soto. I think they keep going. I think Maton used to be a Met. So I just think it makes a lot of sense for a little reunion up there in Queens. Phil Maton was a Met last year in 2024. Was a trade candidate. Get traded from the Rays to the Mets.
Yeah.
Let's say it happens again. Just an 11-pointer, and I have 2 left, and I'm already scrambling for those final 2 picks. Dad, I think you are 3 left. Let's find out.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 3 left.
3 left.
So you'll go back to back, and then you'll end with the final pick after my 2.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sean Murphy, nice Irish kid,
Mm-hmm.
going to find where he can be a catcher again and kind of like a full-time basis. He goes to San Diego. I think that's a real good fit for both teams. Sean kind of lost a lot of his at-bats along the way in Atlanta. Atlanta would like to get rid of him. San Diego needs a catcher desperately. I think that's a good fit between those 2 teams. Then I have Cedric Mullins. Last year, his contract, unfortunately, I think Baltimore's going to clean house. He goes to Houston.
Okay. I don't think Houston needs a center fielder, per se. They need a left fielder, like I was thinking with Donovan.
They need a left-hand hitting outfielder. So Cedric's on the market and probably very cheap.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's defensively great, offensively not.
Right. He had a good start, but then fizzled out.
Sounds like a Houston outfielder. I think they should change that up. That I had Mullins to the Mets. I know everyone keeps talking about Mullins to the Phillies. I'm glad neither of us had that. I have Mullins to the Mets. Obviously, the Orioles have a trade history with the Astros. I don't have Sean Murphy on my board at all. I am going to respect what what the Braves have been saying, that they are not going to move anyone that's not a free agent, basically. They're only going to trade Reynolds and they're keep everybody else. Maybe they trade him in the offseason, but I don't think they get max value for Sean Murphy right now. 2 picks left, Dad. 2 picks left. I'm not going to do a reliever. I think I'll do a starter. And I will do a cubby to make my dad happy here. Speaking of the Orioles cleaning house, Zach Eflin goes to the Cubs.
That'd be great.
I think Zach Eflin's contract is a little higher than what he's worth. So I don't know if, depending on what the Orioles do, pay it down to get a better prospect. But regardless, the Cubs are one of the few teams that could take on that contract for 2 months and see an upside in Eflin. So I think he's traded, so hopefully I get a point at least. My final pick, Dad, will be, Should I go crazy? No, not going crazy. I'm just going to do another 11-pointer. I really like this trade. I think he can be extremely versatile to anyone, but I'm having Willie Castro to the Houston Astros.
Oh, that's a good addition for them.
I think he can literally play anywhere. So if the Donovan thing doesn't work out, Castro's your guy. If the Donovan thing works out, Castro can still be your guy because he can play third base while Paredes heals. Donovan can play third base too, but I think the versatility is where Houston goes this trade deadline season. They're going to get Jordan back. They're going to get some pitchers back. So they'll have a really good next 2 months just by bringing people back from the injured list. But if they can supplement with Donovan and Castro, I think they are super fun. And yeah, obviously I have the Twins selling.
Yeah, they just have to make that decision. All right, my last pick. I think this one's going to help. The Dodgers have been just unbelievable how many injuries the Dodgers have had, especially in the pitching aspect. The big-time closer they thought they had, and they thought they had, this guy was going to be with the best reliever they've had in a long time, has fizzled out. So they're going to grab David Bednar of the Pirates and go into the Dodgers just to shore up that bullpen. He may end up being a closer. Scott's not doing the job. Scott might set up, or Bednar might set up, and then Scott does some closing. But right now, I think he's got like at least a high 3 or low 4 ERA, and just hasn't been great. And they spent a lot of money for him. I think the Dodgers go after a semi-closer.
That always a good idea because when don't the Dodgers trade for a bullpen? I had Bednar just traveling across Pennsylvania and becoming a Phillies either closer or setup man. But totally think your point's extremely valid. I didn't know where Bednar was going to land. Dad, I think that's 12 and 12. We talked about 24 individuals in 30 minutes. That's actually got to be a record for us. Dad, just some key names that I think we missed that will get traded. Like, these are like my confident will get traded. Josh Bell, he would have been a easy 4-pointer if he didn't call the thing because he was a home run derby guy at one point. I think Tommy Pham always gets traded at this point. Tommy Pham. Ramon Laureano is definitely going to get traded from the Orioles. Yep. So will Lourdes Gurriel out of Arizona. So there are just some additional hitters for you. We didn't talk about Kenley Jansen, one of the few closers that seem really likely to get moved.
Where you have him going to?
I had him to the Rangers.
I have him going to Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they have Hoffman, but I guess he'd be a setup guy.
Correct. A little bit of playoff experience to a team that needs some playoff experience.
Yes. Sugano of the Orioles is definitely going to get traded. Andrew Heaney of the Pirates will definitely be traded. Adrian Hauser, this crazy 2-month thing from the White Sox, I think he'll obviously get traded.
Maybe today.
Charlie Morton, Merrill Kelly, these are some other names that I think should get moved. Bullpen-wise, it's so many, but maybe we didn't really talk about Kyle Finnegan or Steven Matz. So, just some additional names. I think we had.
Where do you have Matz going?
I had Steven Matz to the Rangers. Apparently, I think they need a bullpen problem.
I have him going to San Francisco because they need a left-handed reliever, and I have Finnegan going to the Red Sox.
I would love that. I have him to the Mariners, and then I have another great reliever that's going to be underrated is Jacob Junis. I have him going back to the Giants. I think he played there for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, this was fun.
I'm glad. I hope you guys liked it. Hope we can track everything after we stop recording. I'm going to write down all my dad's picks because I was labeling these guys crossed out Kevo's. My dad's gone. So I got to pick out where he went for some of these final places. But it's going to be really, really fun. I think the 29th, 30th, and 31st will be the bigger days. I think people come in Monday. They have their meeting. They have where we going. We're going left to right. And then 3 days of crazy trades. Be very interesting to watch a couple teams decide if they're, trading or selling or buying.
Yep.
The Rays are one of those teams. The Reds are one of those teams. The Royals are one of those teams, even though they've been buying. I think the Rangers are buyers. I think the Padres are buyers. Maybe the Giants, if they lose a couple games, could be sellers.
Apparently, that's all the indications that I've read about. They want to buy.
Yeah. Red Sox haven't been good since the All-Star game. I mean, they came off that 10-game winning streak.
I think they played a team called the Cubs.
There's the Cubs. There's the Dodgers. There's the Phillies. They've played a lot of good teams. But I don't think that front office can sell after giving rid of Devers. They have to sell it to their fans that we did Devers because we want to be competitive. You can't just now sell.
And we have the money.
Yeah. I hope the Red Sox make more moves. I just don't have them doing that. They could be a Willie Castro team. All their players are like Willie Castro at this point. Everyone plays multiple positions.
It's an athletic team.
Yeah. So it'll be really fun to watch. Trade deadlines, down to the wire is always fun. I don't see any big names. I think my dad actually sees some big names moving. Just looking at his list, he chose a lot of controllable talent, and I think I went with more rentals this trade deadline season. So could be 80-4. It could be 30-28 or something like that. So this will be really fun. And if you guys like this, comment down below because we'll put maybe we'll do more players next year. Maybe we'll expand the rounds. 12 rounds went faster than I thought it did.
Yeah, much faster.
But this was fun, Dad. What is your most confident prediction? How about that? What would you be like? I would do my daily double on this.
You know what? Let me review. I think if I was a betting man, I'd go Bednar to the Dodgers.
Really? So your last pick is your most confident? Okay.
Yeah. I really think Dylan Cease is going to end up in Boston. I really do.
Sounds great to me. Mine would be Zach Gallen to the Mets. I went with that first for a reason. Yeah. Everything else is a little hope.
Did you have Merrill Kelly going anywhere?
Yankees.
I have him Toronto. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be so much fun to get past the deadline and let the races begin in earnest. Because if you really think about 2 or 3 divisions, they're in tight. You know, Brewers, Cubs are tied. You got Mets and Phillies, half game of separating them. I think the division race is going to be so much fun this year. So it's interesting how many GMs saying, hey, you know, like one GM said, how many times you get a chance to be in the playoffs? You got to go for it.
Trade deadline World Series predictions, Dad. Have they changed from the beginning of the year? Are they the same? Who do you think beats who?
Everybody thought the Dodgers were going to be the team. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be the team. I think out of the Central, you got 2 very good teams. Both will be in the playoffs. If the Cubs make the deals they're supposed to make, I'm thinking they might be a World Series team. And Brewers are always tough. And if they do some good trades at the deadline, I can see the Brewers being there. I just don't think it's going to be the Dodgers. San Diego has some issues.
Who are you picking?
Cubs.
Over?
Cubs
Pick an AL team.
I know. I'm thinking about who's the hot. Toronto.
Okay. That's a very interesting World Series.
Yeah.
I don't have either of those teams even in my CS. I'm standing pat. I'm picking the Dodgers over the Red Sox.
Interesting.
So I think a little chalky there. I'll even expand it. It's Red Sox over the Astros in the ALCS, and it is the Dodgers over the Phillies in the NLCS.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Even the Dodgers have not put it together.
The Dodgers will put it together.
Okay.
It's just who they are. A lot of people will come back at the right time from the injury list. I mean, they're willing to trade anyone. Like, they really are. They're willing to trade, like, actual talent.
Unlimited resources.
Yeah. Remember that James Outman character? He was like a Rookie of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
He's not really having a good year. Guess what? He could get traded for something tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they would have no trouble with that.
And he's a good outfielder.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember Michael Kopech?
Yes,
he's still in their bullpen.
Yeah.
Kopech throws 102, I think. He could get traded. So they're willing to just mortgage anything for another ring. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been disappointing on their end that the stars that they thought had all been, either hurt or not having a great year.
Yeah.
So the starting rotation's taking a hit.
Yeah, but Sasaki should come back at the end of the year. Well, I'm just, again, some of those people that are coming back, so I think Houston's going to recharge second half. But now we've just really got into a lot of predictions. Thank you guys for listening this long. Again, give us a subscribe. Give us a little follow on any social media. We're at Pastime Podcast _ on all of our socials, but Facebook and YouTube. And we'll be, or at least I'll be, trying to tweet all these trades as they happen. Breaking news, live, local, late breaking. We'll give you all the fun news for the next couple of days or so. as we head into August and the true dog days of summer, and I hope your team either gets a really good prospect or makes a playoff push.
And let us know how crazy our picks are. It'd be interesting to see what your picks are about the 24 people we spoke about, last 45 minutes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, his Mackenzie Gore pick, everybody. Don't forget the Mackenzie Gore pick.
You know what? Everything that I read said, do they go? And they have so many holes that trading one guy might fill 4 holes. I just think that might happen.
Sound off. Who has a better chance at earning points by our rules?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. We try to read every comment. Enjoy trade deadline season.
See ya.